I'm a dangerous man. I'm a dangerous man.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. We're out on the water today, and it's early March. We've had a week now where it's been in the 50s and 60s for the highs, and these fish are starting to make their way, you know, from their winter spots up into their pre-spawn locations, which is going to be tighter to the bank, typically a little shallower water. My favorite ways to approach these situations is with a jerkbait, and I'll pull one out here. And there are all kinds of different style jerkbaits. This one here is a Rapala deep. I've got some KVD, and I like the 2-hook on the KVD versus the 3-hooks, just a little shorter bait. I think it's like the 95. Then some of your old school rogues. This is just an old suspending rogue. And then, to me, you really have to let the conditions dictate which jerkbait they want to eat better. But for me, it's not so much about the jerkbait as it is the cadence. Now, there is a difference between a deep jerkbait with that longer bill versus, let me get one out here, versus a standard jerkbait suspending that has a shorter bill. So obviously this jerkbait's going to suspend a lot deeper, and this one here is going to suspend in that 4 to 5 foot range in suspending. So this one here is a slow sinking Rapala shadow wrap. I like a jerkbait that when it does pause and it's suspending, I actually like it to sink just slowly. And there's not a whole lot of modifications I'll make to this. The one thing I do a lot of times, a lot of guys change the hooks out immediately. The only thing I'll do is I will take this hook size up to a little bit bigger hook so that that bait will actually fall kind of tail down in the water. It looks much more natural. That's the biggest thing you have to figure out, is at what cadence do those fish react. So I typically start with just a simple cadence of jerk, jerk, pause, jerk, jerk, pause. And then if I'm not getting bit, I might speed it up a little bit. If that doesn't get the fish to react, then I will really slow down and I'll go to a jerk, pause. I always fish a jerkbait faster than what you would think even in cool water. I fish a jerkbait fast first, and then I slow down accordingly if I'm not getting bites. So another key thing is on bait color, bait selection. You know, you just choose your color just like you would the watercolor for any bait. Stained water, we're going to use a brighter color. Clear water, we're going to use more of this translucent, transparent type bait. And one that maybe puts off a little bit more flash. Knowing whether you have the right bait or whether you have the right cadence is how they eat it. So bass eat their prey head first. That's what they're going to do, is they're going to eat the bait head first. So a lot of times whenever you get one strike a bait, they're actually going to strike it to kill it and then spit it out and then eat the bait head first. And that has to do with the gills and their fins. It has to go in head first for them to be able to take that bait in. Or take that, if it was a shad or bluegill, to be able to take that in and swallow it. So when you have a bass that eats this just by the tail hook, that will tell you that that fish is eating the bait on the move, when that bait is moving. If it's getting eaten on the pause, a lot of times it will be the front hook in their mouth, or it will be sideways in their mouth. This tells me that bass ate it on the pause, because when a jerkbait is, when you're twitching it, a jerkbait has a very erratic side to side action. So when you pause it, that bait on the jerk, it should turn and pause. So if that bass is behind it, he comes up and he's going to eat it head first, or he's going to eat it like this sideways, and that would indicate that that fish is actually eating it on the pause. That just lets me know that fish is committing to that bait. Whereas if that bait is moving and they come up and short strike the hook or the back of the bait, you know, you're more likely to lose those fish when you're bringing them in or landing them. So that's when you know you have the right color and the right cadence at the right depth. Guys, take these tips, use them on the water. It's that time of year where some of the biggest bags of bass will be weighed in. The bass typically weigh their heaviest right before the spawn or right out of their winter into the pre-spawn pattern. So take these and use them. Right now we're going to go out and see if we can catch a few doing the same thing. Thanks for tuning in. Tree. Oh! Break the guy's heart when bites are at a premium. Look at that one. Oh, guys. Look at that one. That's what I'm talking about. So, I couldn't get him to eat the jerkbait. Picked up a little crankbait. Little Fritz Side 5. Red crawl pattern. One of my favorite little crankbaits. I got so much confidence in that crankbait. About a 3-pounder, not a giant. I thought he was bigger than what he was. Pretty good fish. But if you can't get him to eat the jerkbait, can't get him to eat the trap, this water back here is like 6-7 degrees warmer than the lake water. But this fish is so cold. But you can see how white he is. He's just kind of moved up in here, so there should be a whole lot more of them. This is kind of a spawning flat back in behind us. Should be a whole lot more of them staging here on this bridge. We'll get him back in the water. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We'd like for you to tag along with us if you're subscribed to the channel. As always, thanks for hanging out with us for a little while. Hopefully you can take a little bit about what I talked about with the jerk baits and the rattle trap and put that to use. Lost a big one. So a little heartbroken about that, but hey, that's why it's called fishing, not catching. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Everything about